Well, for today's podcast, we have the great opportunity to talk to EVSC students again. So, first of all, we want to say a special welcome to Kami Meyerholtz. And Kami, you are a senior at North High School, so welcome to this
Yes.
podcast.
Thank you.
And then we are also talking to Jackson Nolan. Jackson, you are a senior and you're at Reitz High School, so thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And then last but not least, you've been a frequent friend of the podcast, Coach Owen, Director of Athletics here, Assistant Superintendent for Athletics and Talent Development here in EVSC. So thank you for coming in.
Appreciate the invite.
So let's just have a conversation about, first of all, what's taken place recently, and then I want to dig a little deeper into what you guys have done and what you're going to be doing in the future. So first of all, Coach Owen, we're talking specifically with both these athletes about cross country today, but talk to us about a recent event that took place that really was exciting. We were happy to do it.
Yeah, one thing we've always liked to do as our team of athletic directors is try to provide our students with meaningful experiences. And one of the objectives is to look at the cross country and see, could we make this happen of race prior to a high school football game. Every Friday in Southern Indiana, high school football games are attended by thousands of fans. And our cross country athletes work extremely hard. And this was something we wanted to do as a team to bring some notoriety cross country, and just what a football game is a community event, band, cheer, and all of your community members. And the idea of perfect timing, 25 minutes before a game, of letting these student athletes showcase their skills and run in front of thousands of fans was something that we wanted to do. And it was a lot of hard work, but again, it provided the meaningful experience that we here at EVSC Athletics are trying to do for our students.
Okay. Kami, let's start with you. Coach Owen's talking about this event that took place recently before the football game. So what were your thoughts about it? Tell me about it.
No, I thought it was a really neat experience. It's something that's never done before. It was really neat to have that, and to have like student sections from both schools there, which like usually you don't have at cross country meets.
Sure.
It was really nice to have the support from like our classmates and everything. I thought it was a really neat experience.
Yeah. Jackson, what about you? What was your take on the situation?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much feel the same. I thought it was really cool, and just being able to run in front of that many people and finish on the field was really cool. And I wish we could have done it all 4 years of my high school. That would be really cool just to be around that. I definitely think that it's something that the guys on our team enjoyed and that the younger guys thought was really cool too.
Okay. And I know this was a little unique too. In addition to starting and ending there in the stadium before the football game, but both female and male athletes for cross country competed at the same time, which that's not normally the case, is it?
No, it's not. Usually the girls will run their own race and the boys will run their own race. So it was kind of different experience to have both of us running together.
Sure. So let's talk a little bit more about cross country. It's a great sport. Obviously takes a lot of hard work. Kami, I want to start with you because I know this is your second year. What other sport have you?
Softball.
Okay, softball. So this is your second year for doing cross country. So just for people out there who aren't as familiar with the sport, what does it entail? Tell me about your experience that you've had at North.
It's definitely a lot of you have to put a lot of conditioning into it. And it definitely takes a lot of practice. You're not just going to be able to show up and run 3 miles. You have to work your way up to it. But I think it's a really good way, a very good workout, keeps you in shape. And I think it's a really good sport. It helps you all throughout your life, I think.
Sure. And Jackson, let's get your perspective on it, because I know for you, cross country, you do track as well. You were telling me before we started recording, but I mean, this is something you're extremely dedicated to. So talk to me about your experience with cross country.
Yeah, so I've pretty much grown up with running, and that's pretty much all I do other than school. And so there's only about, I'd say 2.5 weeks of the whole year where that's time off, a week off after track, a week off after cross country, and then we're back to running 7 days a week, hitting really high mileage in weeks. So it's pretty much, it's consistency and just a lot of self-discipline goes into it.
Sure. And then you were telling me in the track season in the spring, you run one of the longer events, or probably the longest event too, right? Because your specialty is a distance runner.
Yeah. I do the 3,200, and then there's occasions where I'll drop down to the 1,600 or the 800. But postseason, like going to state, I focused on the 3,200.
Sure. And then this is something that you plan on taking with you after this year at the university level, correct?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been looking at for that.
Yeah, so I'm in between 5 schools right
Okay.
now. I've taken 2 visits. I've been to Belmont University in Nashville,
Okay.
and this past weekend I was at University of Southern Indiana. And then the next 3 weekends I'm going to this weekend is Kansas University, and I'll be out in New Mexico University and then Liberty
Okay.
University in Virginia.
And all 5 of these schools, you definitely are going to be running cross country.
Yeah.
Student.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Kami, tell us about what your future plans are.
As of right now, I've kind of narrowed my college options down to University of Louisville in UK, and I want to major in computer engineering.
Okay. And for you, you said maybe being a college athlete isn't something necessarily in your future you're going to focus on academics.
Yes. I think that for me, my balancing, because I want to do computer engineering, I feel like
Sure.
it'd be hard to balance that with sports
Right.
because, at the college level, it's definitely like a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. Jackson, I didn't ask you what you're intending on majoring in once you pick a school.
Yeah, so I'm leaning really strongly towards education. I've always
Okay.
wanted to be like a high school teacher or
Okay.
coach.
Okay. So maybe high school teaching and coaching along
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Fantastic. I want to ask both of you before we wrap up today, too, because clearly, obviously, you've been very dedicated in your training, conditioning for running. And Kami, I know this is a 2-sport experience for you. And so I know, obviously, you put in a lot of time with both of your sports. If younger students would ask you, maybe if they're getting ready to go into high school, talk to me about being part of a team, being in athletics. Is that something I should do? Is that something I should consider? What would your advice be for them?
I would say definitely get involved as much as you can. And I think it's just a really good opportunity. You meet a lot of new people, form a bunch of friendships from it. But I would say definitely put yourself out there.
And what about you, Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that because just from my personal experiences, the guys on my team that I've met through our sports are like some of my best friends. So it's like you're going to make really good friends if you join the teams, and just being able to be on a team like that is really fun in high school.
Sure. Coach Owen, I want to go back to you for a second. As far as, Jackson talked about, he wishes the event we just had, he would have had each year. So he's hoping it continues moving forward. I assume that's part of the plan.
Yes, we'd love to continue this. It depends. Facilities matter, and the safety of the event, and
Sure.
actually the planning. But yeah, this is something we want to provide not only for North and Reitz, but other students to getting that experience. If the stadium and facility and it works out, logistics, this
Right.
is something we definitely like to do.
And I know you've been around high school sports for a long time. Just your quick take on the sport of cross country.
Amazing sport, and that's kind of why we wanted to do this, to highlight student athletes like the 2 we have here. Didn't know each other prior to this meet, and here on
Sure.
the podcast together. I'm really proud of both these students. Come from great families, and they're going to be great citizens, great people after high school, and
Sure.
make the EVSC proud.
And for cross country, too, you don't, obviously, Jackson's talked about conditioning throughout the year and how he's done this as long as he can remember. You don't have to be the best runner to be a part of the cross country team at any of our schools, right?
No, what's neat a lot about track and cross country, swimming, anytime you talk about your personal best, your PB or your personal record, every time you go out, you're trying to get a little bit better and beat your time. And they know that through training. So whether the places don't really matter, you want to contribute and help your team get some points. But you're going out there versus the clock and competing every day, and the mental toughness and the conditions and those type of things are going to provide these students through tougher times later in life. They'll go back to their cross country days and remember that things will be okay.
So don't feel like you have to be a natural born runner to be a part of the cross country team.
No, not at all. And I think a lot of our athletes can learn a lot, like from Kami, that she's a championship softball player, but she decided to help her school and her team and contribute on the cross country team later in her high school career. And she's very grateful for that experience. So just being a part of something like they mentioned earlier, and competing. You don't always have to be the best, but just being a part of a team, there's a lot of good things that come from that.
Sure. Kami, I'm going to ask you another question
Mhm.
before we wrap, and that is, what are you envisioning seeing looking forward for the rest of this cross country season and then into your softball season this year as well?
I think our cross country team at North is very good this year, and I think that we all kind of push each other to be better, and I think that we're gonna have a really successful season. And softball wise, I also think that we're also gonna have a really good season. We have we have a lot of returning players from last year, so I think that that'll help us be really good this season.
Sure. And Jackson, what about you? What are you thinking as far as cross country and then track at Reitz for the rest of your senior year?
Yeah, so our boys team right now is really strong in the cross country side. Where I think they said we're currently ranked top 5 in the state.
Wow!
So it's coming into the season, we had high goals, and I say we're pretty much doing exactly what we expected. I think we'll go to the state meet and we can get top 5 and podium, and in the track side as well. I think our distance guys are very strong, so we're going to be sending multiple guys to state, and I think by the time I graduate, we're going to have a podium on the cross country side for the team. And individually, I mean, you're always looking to win, so
Sure.
looking for a state championship there. But it's just really exciting to be on a team this good.
Most definitely. Well, what a great goal. Wish you the best. So wish you both the best. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy students, busy seniors. Hard to believe you're saying you're a senior this year, but we appreciate you leaving school, taking the time to talk to us today. We wish North and Reitz and your teams for the rest of the season the very best. So congratulations on your senior year. Good luck to both of you and to your teammates. And Coach Owen, thanks for coming in and sharing this exciting update for us.
Thank you for having us again.